Hello, I'm Chris. This is air hockey again. Basically, in the last tutorials that I've done recently, or fairly recently, we were going over Pixlr, which is the graphics editor, which we were using to sort of give this a facelift. In the last video, or some of the videos, I think I started adding in some of the new graphics for this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly make a video dedicated to just doing this, okay? So the first one I think I started was the puck. So if you haven't done this already, if you open up the puck sprite and go to load sprite, and then basically I'm basically going to upload my resources folder for where I've made all of my graphics, so you'll be able to download that. And go into where I've got my sprites, or where you've made yours even, and select the puck, and then this puck comes in here. One thing that you may have to do to update it is if you click here in the origin section and make sure you click center, and it will move this crosshair into the center of the sprite. Okay. The next ones we need to do is we need to update both of the pads. So I'm going to open up spr_pad01. And I'm going to load in the next sprite. The next sprite for pad 01 is this one, which is our eraser for player 1. And when this comes in, it comes in kind of wrong, so we're going to need to sort of fix this. So let's just see how we can do this real quickly. So first of all, make sure that you recenter the origins, and then let's see if we can edit this. So edit. So I clicked on edit sprite, and then inside the edit sprite section there's a transformation and there's a rotate somewhere. There we go, rotate, and we want to rotate it so it's long ways, like this way, that you can sort of see the difference between this. So it's rotating about 90 degrees, and then click OK, and then it's flipped it around, and that's fine for us. And yeah, so all this looks pretty okay. The other thing I want to do on these sprites as we import them in is I want to change the mask, and the mask is basically, if I click on this, let's just see first of all, it's like the collision mask. So you can see this collision, this shaded thing view, which you can sort of see is different to the one next to it. This is the actual sprite, and then this one here is what the collision mask looks like, and the collision mask is kind of like a square on this one. And I want to change it to an ellipse, so it's got anything that hits on these rounded edges, kind of the puck can sort of bounce in a different angle to make it a little bit more interesting. Collision masks work a lot similar to the way they work in, say, like 3D games. Like you may have an instance where like you're playing a game and you snipe someone in the head, but you snipe rather than hitting them in the head, you hit them slightly above the head, and it still counts as a headshot. And that's usually because the collision mask is a little bit bigger than the head. So it's the same sort of principle inside a GameMaker. So I want to change these to ellipses to make it a bit more interesting. And okay. And I want to also do that to the puck. So I want to open up the puck and modify the mask. And as you can see, the puck here is a square. And anything that hits this shaded area counts as a collision at the moment. And obviously that's really inaccurate, so I want to change this to an ellipse as well, and it basically gives us the puck but gives it more round ball sort of properties. And I'm going to click OK on that one. Then I'm going to update pad 02, so the same way I did it before. So load sprite, and then pad 02 is this one here, my eraser that I've made. And I kind of drew it a little bit wonky, but you guys can probably make yours a little bit more neater. And I'm going to edit this one, and I'm going to transform it as well, so rotate it, and then this one I want to transform so it goes all the way around a bit more. So I think it's 270 degrees I want to change it to, that one, and I'm going to click OK, so it's the right way up, and then OK again. Sorry, got a bit of a cough. And then center that up there. Also modify the mask, so open up the modify mask section and ellipse it again. Okay, there we go, wonderful. And there are all the sprites that I want to update. The rest of the sprites I'm going to leave as is. You can potentially update them if you want to make them neater, but the wall sprites don't really make a difference, and the goals don't make a difference. The score object, we could change this around if you want to. I'm not even sure if we need it anymore. Let's have a look. Alright. I think I already imported in the new game screen, which is this one here, which is the one which we made inside of Pixlr, or I made inside of Pixlr. Yeah, so I've already got a score written on the sheet, so I don't actually need the score sprite anymore. And then I got two other backgrounds that I made myself, which you can download if you want to, or make yourself. So I'm going to do bg underscore p1 underscore wins, and I'm going to load it in, and this is in the same place. I don't know why it just defaults away every time. There we go. Player 1 wins, which is, it's like the same background that I used for the game inside of Pixlr, except I hid the layer where I drew the field and literally wrote player 1 wins on it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same again, so create background bg underscore p2 underscore wins, and load in the other one. And this is it here. So it's slightly different. I used in Pixlr, I used with like a different sort of brush tool or something, so that they kind of look slightly different. Or you could potentially get someone else to draw it so it looks like it's in different handwriting. Yeah. Okay. Then that's all my backgrounds that I want. The next thing I want to do is I want to go to my room and I want to basically update my room. So at the moment you can see the way it's laid out. From importing our new stuff into here, it doesn't quite match up to the way the field is sort of laid out, and this is something that I need to update. So you need to move these parts around. So I'm going to go to the objects section, and this should allow me to select objects, and I'm going to reposition these lines going across. Okay, so actually I'm going to delete them and then just re-put them in. So delete, 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 delete. Alright, I'm going to move the goal mouse into roughly the right position, because they should be the same size, depending on how well I drew them. I'm going to move the players into the right position, so it should be on the line, and then the puck into the right position. And then I'm going to select the walls, and I'm going to click once, and then grabbing the bottom corner, I'm going to drag it across so it goes all the way across one side. And then I wonder if I can copy it. Copy selection, Control V. Oh, does it work? Oh, it does work. Wonderful. How many of them did I make? Just one. I'm going to put this along the bottom of the game. I'm going to get another wall sprite, put it there, and drag it down. So basically, make sure that you've got a complete enclosure. Okay, so that's everything in there. It should just play as normal. One thing I want to change is I want to make sure that this score object that we've currently got is going to be hidden, because I want the score to be written on the paper. And then I want to also move these values into the correct position, so they're like not, you know, they're kind of in line with where score is now. I still want this score object, I just don't want it to be drawn. So I'm going to close this, so save. I'm going to go into my score objects and I'm going to turn off visible. So I've still got all the stuff I want in it, but it just doesn't render it anymore. Alright, and then I'm going to create two new rooms. So create room, and I want to keep the same resolution that I had from before. So settings, so this is going to be rm underscore p1 underscore wins, and it's going to be 1280 by 720. Wonderful. And I'm going to add the background for player 1 wins, like this. Sorry. If I zoom out, you can see that it kind of encompasses the entire layout, which is fine. And I'm going to use the tick. And instead of doing all those settings again, I'm going to right click on this, duplicate this room, and this time I'm going to change the settings, the name of it, to rm underscore player p2 underscore wins, and the resolution is the same because I copied it over. And on the background section, I'm going to change this to p2 wins, and you can see that displays nicely now. Okay. Those two rooms that I've just made, I'm not going to code them in just yet. I'm going to code them in the next section when we start going through the GML section. For this bit, it's just getting it so it's everything's kind of in and it should be working. So I'm just going to quickly pause the video and then show the game playing. Alright, so this is the game running. There are a few little mini bugs in it. I think at the moment the puck's spawning inside of the paddle right at the start. I think it's just an odd setting that's in there. Stuff needs to be sort of tuned and speeded up. See that got that little glitch there. I think that's a quick fix. I might just change that now. So I'm just gonna close this video and pause it. Okay, back now. Alright, the reason why this is giving us a problem is every time the puck gets deleted, it's respawning in the position that it's supposed to have spawned in from before. But now we've got a paddle there because we've shifted everything over, so we need just to update this. So down the bottom here, we've got my X and Y position of where my mouse is, and I want to put it over the position of where the puck starts. So it's 70 by 320, okay? Sorry, 704. Okay, so I'm just going to update that, and I'll show you where to update that. So I'm going to close this, and inside of my puck object, when it collides with the goal, it has this create instance. And so I want to change this to 704, I think it was. I'm not even sure. And this one was 320, I think. And let me just really recheck that. Okay, and recheck. 3, it's near enough the right place. Okay, so that's on one object. I'm going to copy this. Copy. I'm going to go into the collision for the second for the goal and delete this out and paste the new one in. And just quickly move that. I'm just going to pause the video while I run the test even. So we pause. Alright, so I'm back with the game, and now hopefully when it goes in the goal, if it ever goes in the goal, let's have a look. Let me move these out of the way. Alright, so there are some issues with the game right now. Yeah, it basically spawns back in the right place where we want to. Maybe we can tune it up a little bit more, but for now it's okay. There are some issues with the game which is sort of a balancing issue, so it's something we're going to look into in a later video, probably the last video before we sort of finish up with this. In the next video, it may be one part or it may be two parts, but basically going to go through this and convert all of our code over into the GameMaker language sort of stuff. So it's a little bit easier to see, like, you know, the pros and cons of both systems. Okay. Anyway, thank you.